Mike, you there?
Oh, I'm so here. Hey,
All right,
hey,
let's we get
ready to do this thing?
yeah, let's go. Let's
Let's
go.
let's do this thing.
Hey
Hey,
everybody.
hey.
Hey. Welcome to the third installment of the standard. Did you say there was no music? No music was playing on that intro?
Nope,
What?
nope. They're cool jams. I have to tell you that, but don't worry.
How
Well,
did that not huh?
I wonder if when you muted me, you muted that somehow.
I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sorry. There should have been music there. You guys should have been like
You want me to
jamming to
demonstrate?
it.
Boom, 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 boom,
Trust
boom.
me, guys. It's
Okay.
better. It's better
All
than
right,
what
everybody's
Mike is
running out of
giving
the
you
room
right
now,
now.
going, "Oh my God, there's a monster in the place."
Anyway, guys, I'm Jerome Ortega here, my co-host, Mike Dixon.
Hey there.
Mike, any words before we get started
Any
here?
words? Don't watch me dance and sing at the same time. It's pretty hysterical. That's all I got to say. Surprised my wife hasn't chimed in yet. She'll vouch for me right there.
See, so I feel like we need to get a clip of that one day.
Let
We'll
me
turn it
tell you.
into a
Let me.
GIF.
I'm going to be no music in the intro, but let me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no music on the intro.
You
That's weird.
when my brother got married, I would say that's the only time I danced like an asshole. Okay. Okay, and that's the only time is the only time I really let loose. I said I don't care how bad this guy dances because I can't dance.
Okay, all right. Well, you
So
know what? Let's get started here.
yeah,
We got
hey,
we got a good amount of topics to talk about.
yeah. We got a
Um,
lot of interesting stuff here.
so I know you wanted to start off with SpaceX and the whole like everything that's going on with that. So I'm not really well versed in this, so you're gonna have to help me like kind of
sure,
go over what's going on and
yeah.
how this stuff is happening. I did read a little bit about
Mhm.
this whole like Starlink and like how there's just a lot of stuff now in the sky and how that's going to affect us. So you want to get started with that? I mean, I can
Yeah,
share that article, put it
yeah.
up
If you
there
want to
so
put
people
down, I
can
mean, I'm
see
not going
it.
to read per word.
No. But I mean, so at least people can see what we're talking about here.
Hmm.
Let me switch to there we go. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
I'm going to preface this. I'm going to just start off as saying this. These people come out. These companies come out, and they see an opportunity to paint a picture of we're doing good, and then they are doing good because there's people. We're fortunate enough. You where you're at in California. You when you
mhm,
move to Chicago. Me here in the Northeast corridor of the United States.
yeah,
Internet's not a problem.
right,
Okay, having a cellular connection is almost not a problem, at least
sure,
for me. Um, but there are people around the world that don't have internet access, and
right.
there was and I'm sorry I don't have all the figures, but I defer this to the Project Loon. I was watching a video, and the gentleman mentioned that when there's internet service
Yeah, you're
in a
talking about
country.
this, right? Loon, Project
Lo-
Loon.
Project Loon, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned that when there is internet, that the GDP of that developing nation increases. Okay, so
When there's internet.
when there's internet, yes,
Sure.
it's been okay. So, but on the other hand, this is we're doing good for mankind, but we're also going to profit.
Oh yeah, of
It-
course,
you
because
know,
there has to be a bottom line.
there is a bottom line, and
Yeah.
the telemarketing companies, and again, not just here in the States, but
Mhm.
other ones. I'm sorry, I'm not versed in those other companies in Europe, for example, or in Asia.
Right.
Like India comes to mind. India,
Mhm.
Afghanistan, Pakistan. Those that part of the world where internet is at a premium, and India is making definitely
Oh
inroads.
yeah, when India finally got cheap internet, like
Mhm.
everything exploded over there. I mean,
Well,
that's
right,
why
and
like look
that's
at
what we have
YouTube.
now. Thanks
Mhm.
to that, in a way, you could thank having internet, so people in India can have the access to the phones. The market opened up, and then you have these high end, relatively powerful phones at
Right.
a reduced price. Again, as I call it, the cascade effect that's going
Yeah.
on here. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so us phone nerds or snobs, we go and import these phones, and we hold a Poco One phone that has an 845 Snapdragon in it, and a decent screen, and an okay camera. It's made out of plastic, and it's for easily more than half the price of a Pixel 3
Sure.
or 3A or a Samsung phone or whatever it is. But so what is interesting with Starlink is that I'm trying to find the exact figure in there that he's basically having these satellites like well over 300 miles above Earth I believe at geosecretive. You okay? There was those big words again. I have trouble with geosynchronous orbit.
Geosynchronous.
Yeah, that basically they stay over one location to provide that coverage.
You're talking about SpaceX's, right? Is that what you're
SpaceX,
saying?
right? Yeah,
You're talking about this right here.
Let
Are
me see. I'm
these?
sorry. I'm looking at the story on my big
No,
screen here.
no, that's okay. I
Yeah.
was gonna say this image here. These
Mhm.
are these all satellites that they're lining up for internet? Is that how that's supposed to work?
That's sort of how it's supposed to work. It's been name tagged a mega constellation.
Yeah, but it's crazy because
Mhm.
could you imagine if you didn't even know anything about this? You look up in the sky and then you see that? I would go
Well,
crazy.
now you gotta understand that in that photo that you were showing there,
Mhm.
that is probably uh, amplified. It's somebody who's got your home telescope from home.
You think so? Because did you see this video right here?
Let's see. Let me see what you're looking at. No, I didn't see that there.
Yeah, and it's I mean, maybe something is doctored, but it's just like
Well,
a whole
the
strip
the
of
whole strip of essentially, well, what is Picura is what's that? What's
right.
somebody that's a real novice like me would think, oh great, a spacecraft is falling apart. That's sometimes you get a trail like that. It here is in the description: a train of SpaceX Starlink satellites are visible in the night sky. Is in the still from a video captured by a satellite tracker,
Mhm.
Marco Lango Beck, a gentleman. He's in the Netherlands, and this was just May of last year. So the concern is in this particular situation is we got a lot of space junk going on now.
Yeah,
There's
I mean, there's so much stuff up there. I mean,
mhm.
I don't even when you launch something up there, when you launch a satellite up there, is that it? Like you can't bring that back, can you? That's it,
No,
right?
no, no. They supposedly they'll most satellites will either they'll throw it into an orbit and it'll be in a junk orbit and it'll be an elliptical. It'll
Mhm.
slingshot out. It
Yeah.
stands a chance of coming back again and then another slingshot out, or they'll provide enough fuel to aim it over. Generally, the Pacific Ocean always been the Southern Pacific has been always a great dumping grounds to rid of a dying satellite.
Okay, so
Satellites of
that's where they try to like aim it back,
aim it
right?
back.
After it's
Mhm.
done with its course.
But you run into the problem with space junk is when a rocket launches, and if you ever see those little fragments floating
Oh yeah.
in there, nuts, bolts, pieces, scrap, that's added junk, and that will pick up speed as it evolves around, as it's moving around the Earth in gravity speeds up that and it becomes now a projectile.
Oh, for sure.
It may not be it may not actually burn up in the atmosphere just yet. It's still high enough and still within range of causing potential harm to another,
For sure.
a spacecraft of some kind of satellite or something like that. Um,
Okay,
you know,
so these satellites that they want to put up there, did they say how many? Is there a
yeah, it
figure?
was according to this, the FCC granted SpaceX permission to fly 12,000 satellites.
12,000
Thousand.
satellites.
Now, mind you, it says here, put this in perspective, as the story says here, only about 2,000 artificial satellites currently orbiting the Earth, and about 9,000 have been launched in all of history.
Oh
So,
my God. So
yes,
they're just taking more than what's there already. And
Mhm.
wow.
Right. Well, and granted, though, the whole idea is that it's placed over a specific area that's not getting internet. So what comes to my mind, there's not been immediately that comes to my mind is right now I think you're going to hear more of providing internet in places in the North America. I'll just say North America that
Yeah,
doesn't
like
have
more remote locations in the
extreme
US.
remote, like what, you'll find out in a few weeks. You mentioned that you're going to be traveling home, and
Yeah. Mhm.
please, Jerome, report in on that, saying there is a part you're going to find it. You're going to find you have zero. You're in the middle of the
Oh
country.
yeah, no, I
You know
mean
what I mean?
that's happened to me many times. I've
Right,
run into that a
right.
lot.
Well,
Yeah.
again, like I said, we're fortunate to live where we are, and then you come across that part of the country where that's where they're going to try and provide internet coverage.
Right. But is it only mobile internet then? Like it's not, so is can you get like a specific satellite package, or is it just for your phone so you get LTE coverage, or
Well,
you're
you got
not
to get
sure?
I wouldn't put it past. I would think it would be LTE coverage, and then today's phones are all running voice over LTE as it is.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you're going to be able to communicate and yet watch the Bears lose.
Thanks.
No
Thanks.
problem. Um,
Okay, the Packers lost yesterday, so I'm happy.
okay. So yeah, that's the idea. And again, reading up and understanding Project Loon's theory is basically
Mhm.
the idea is as you move along, your phone's picking up transmitter tower after tower after tower.
Right.
The concept is we're going to flip it, and then you're going to have the towers above your head.
Yeah.
As they move along, it's picking you up. So if you're
Yes.
stationary, and that's where you're going to still get your connection.
I saw a little video on how that works, and it's pretty great because it
Mm,
it, it only gets to the stratosphere, right? It
mm,
doesn't get too high, and
mm-hmm.
then it comes back down, and a recovery team comes and gets it.
Right now,
And
but now they're working. The Project Loon is they're working. Well, here's the other thing. Project Loon wanted to blanket almost not to this extreme, but they wanted to blanket an area with balloons. Then they slowly realized that they were working on like a balloon would go up and be up there for like 2 days and came back down. The package recovered
yeah,
and okay, but now it became a cost factor because you're
sure.
losing these balloons. These balloons are handmade, literally handmade. They're not like I'm on a mass produced thing. The mass production part is literally they hired people from the seamstress world to come and make these
Really?
balloons. Yeah,
Yeah, that's interesting how that
yeah,
works. Huh.
yeah. So let me take a moment
Oh
let's
yeah,
check it. Yeah, let's check
I'm
out
looking at the
and
chat right now.
Adrian comes in.
Adrian.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you for saying right now.
Let's get Jerome some pomade. I
Yeah,
have pomade. I have a little bit in
and
here.
we're working on a watch fund too, people. Okay, Super Chat is wide open. I want to say hi to my mom. SpaceX
Adrian,
is
thank
so
you.
cool. When my mom watched one time the SpaceX guys land the rocket on the floating ship out in sea, she was just like, "Oh my god!" And it is amazing. It is
Oh
simply
yeah.
amazing
No, for sure.
what's going
Let's
on.
see. Tech for your knees is here too. Hello, hello,
Mm-hmm.
hello.
And so always Six and Louis. He's always getting the front row
Yeah,
seat.
six was
Oh,
here
and yeah.
first.
Uh-huh.
Gustavo, what's going on? Brian,
Yes,
what's
thank
up?
you for stopping by, Gustavo. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Uh,
guys, thank you so much. Adrian, thank you again for the super chat. I really
mhm.
appreciate it. Thank you.
And I want to say the concession stand is open. There are various soft drinks and hard drinks, but we will card you. I will point out to you. Smoking is not permitted in the building. Please take your smoking outside.
What
Okay.
about vaping? No,
No,
no, that
out,
outside too.
outside too, out.
They'll just do it secretly.
Yeah, yeah. The smoking in the boys' room. Okay. Anyway. So anyway, I found this story interesting in a lot of ways, in respect of, again, you imagine. Well, first off, Elon Musk and SpaceX, they got like money. They just fart and money flies
Oh
out there.
yeah,
Okay, in plain
yeah.
English. And so But in the end, I know Elon would not do something like this if it doesn't come with a positive here, and it not because, oh, I want to do right by humankind. There's going to be a financial gain for him.
Sure.
And Project Loon was is still in typical Google fashion. It got snipped. It seems like it's gotten
Yeah.
snipped.
So are they not doing Project Loon anymore, or is it still something
Well,
that's
I
like
found a
in the works?
video from 2017 from Bloomberg, and the gentleman mentioned that apparently somebody somebody in Alphabet that's overseeing the projects
Mhm.
was out on a kill fest, and this is the one person that saw to the end of Google Glass. Basically came to the people at Project Loon and said, listen, you're going to be limited on how many balloons you get, so you got to make these balloons last. And in a way,
Really?
yeah. So it's not completely, it's not completely dead, but yet it isn't like it was before. Google in the early 2010s, they seem like, that wide-eyed, we're going to do something spectacular, and that's a lot
Yeah,
of things that
that's
came out of Google. Now it's all about the profit. You really
Oh,
got a sense.
yeah.
Now this is what 2017 video, and these projects started having to show some potential to make money.
Right, and if not, then, for them, again, like, the dollar is the bottom
Mhm.
line, especially when they did an overhaul of their management and, however any of that works, but
But mom's right. Keep your hands in the tram card, please. Yes, yes. So anyway, yeah, I find it I found it interesting that that all these satellites are in the sky, and the biggest question is, I think if you read on there, see, SpaceX received more backlash in 2019 when the European Space Agency announced that it would have to direct one of its satellites to take an evasive maneuver from avoiding crashing into a Starlink 44, one of the 60 satellites that were in the mega constellation. So already it's already showing there, not I mean a flaw. It's not a bad flaw. You're going to run into these things, and I trust SpaceX is going to figure this out.
Yeah.
But where's the? I'm grateful that somebody that's in a cornfield out in Montana, and with a bunch of cows around them, and they're going to be able to watch our show. I'm grateful for that, but the question is at what cost?
Sure.
It has a lot of, it's hard to. I'm not here to bash them, but I'm also not here to say, this is wonderful either. We're going to figure this out, and every person in the world is going to eventually going to be able to have the ability in their hands, some device to get
Some kind of
internet. But it's just one of these things. 12, how many did I say? 12,000 spacecraft could be floating
Yeah,
around in
you said
space.
12,000
I think
satellites.
yeah. That's a lot. That's just plain a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I understand space is huge, right? Like, but
well, we think space is huge, but it's slowly getting crowded because it's just not United States, it's Russia, you got China, you got the Europeans, they got their agency, throwing stuff up in the sky, and
right.
even if I forget, and I don't
Yeah,
know.
it says here, yeah, the FCC granted SpaceX permission to fly 12,000 and perhaps as many as 30,000 eventually. That's crazy. Yeah, to put that into perspective, only about 2,000 artificial satellites currently orbit
Size of like so you imagine you got a refrigerator floating. Well, it says a table, but looking at this one video here, it's like a refrigerator going out. So you got a refrigerator floating around and trying to give you what was that?
Internet.
What was that fight? McGregor and that Cowboy? Is that his name?
Oh yeah, Cerrone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, pay-per-view going, yeah, we need these satellites. Yes. So
yeah, I mean, obviously it comes at a cost, and I don't know. I don't know too much about it to know what's up in space, what's going on.
And I don't want to, I'm gonna get on a soapbox here. What's it? What is it? It smells like desserts,
Oh,
Adrian.
Adrian's talking about vaping. I only know because I know people who vape. So
Okay, it smells like desserts. Man, that's trouble for me. Somebody's trying to be on a diet. Um, I'm gonna get on my soapbox for a millisecond here, or if I get too much, just mute me. Uh,
you're fine.
but the thing is, we people on Earth, especially America, need to be concerned about what's going into space. We need to, though, to not to mute space. I feel strongly that these handheld computers that we have, these MP3 players, CD players, cassette players. I'm just name a few.
Yeah.
The handheld games that when I was growing up is all spawned from just merely putting man in space and then going beyond and trying to reaching the moon. Now it's like what you said, you don't know much about it. And don't take, I'm not trying to put you down, but
no, not at all.
But we need to know and understand that, if you were able to be outside and looking from the moon perspective to the Earth, realizing that you're it. For all we know right now, we are it.
Oh, sure.
And we need to go and just broaden our horizons and go and do that, because the potential for what technology is going to be created is going to spur something else, like these phones that we have, like the laptop on sit. You know what I mean? Imagine what 20 years ago or more, we wouldn't be able to, first off, do any of what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't be able, I wouldn't be talking to you from, I wish I could, take a picture and show you of my relatively thick still laptop, where you got laptops that are paper thin.
Right.
So.
No, there's a lot of exploration we still gotta.
I'm not I'm not a UFC fan, but I did keep up on it, and I heard the guys talking about it. I know Will talked to a Six. I don't know, surprise Six and pop in. I heard. I can imagine if you pay whatever the pay for.
I think it's like $70,
right?
Something
for a
like
fight.
That.
I think. Well, actually, they got to see other fights, but the main event was like 40 seconds. 40 seconds. I'm like. No. Get up so he can beat the shit out of you more. We paid more for this.
That's the trouble. That's because you just, you never know. Yeah, I really wanted to watch it, but I wasn't going to spend the money. That's crazy.
Don't worry. Six will, if you go to Instagram, Six will have practically the whole 40 seconds on Instagram.
Well, I don't need to watch that. I just watched the knockout and I'm like, okay,
yeah,
good.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't, I just wanted, that was like, we talk about phones, we talk about, this, that, and the other thing. We will be talking about phones later in the show, but I just thought, SpaceX, Boeing, NASA going back up there, not depending on one country, is very important for us as a nation, as a human race, that we all participate, and we need to consider these things. About space and what's floating in the air and what's going on. If God forbid there was a major problem and it did major damage to the International Space Station, I know you're going to hear cries. You're going to hear cries, people saying, "What are we spending all this time and money up there? Obviously, it's so dangerous. We need to have our humans back on, our people back here on Earth, and let that big things crash." And no, there's things that come out of being in that space station alone. It benefits us. Going beyond and getting back to the moon and getting to Mars and learning other technologies, other propulsion systems that need to be designed so we can go beyond just the moon and Mars and beyond.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. So, it's I mean, it's, I don't know. We've accomplished so much here, and yeah, there's just so much more. So
what's the Adrian saying? Forget space. All I want is
graphene to be large scale already in phones, laptops, cars. Batteries have been so disappointing the past few years. I'm sure Note 7 agrees with me.
See, but if it was better, well, probably was better technology, and somebody took a shortcut with the Note 7. You know what I mean? Do you think so?
With the Note 7?
Do you think do you think that Samsung took a shortcut somewhere?
I mean,
and have that. I mean, that's the only time that ever phone has been that. I mean, yeah,
that compromised. I don't know. I'm not sure what happened with that. That's just, it's a big ball, like a big PR. Well, I mean, more than PR. I mean, look at what happened on planes. I mean, it got so dangerous that it became a hazard for planes. So
right.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah.
SpaceX proceeded. I don't have no video or anything like that. That was my bad.
No, you're fine.
I didn't get that, but SpaceX lifted off a rocket into the sky for about 80 to 90 seconds.
Yeah, I actually have.
Did you watch?
Yeah, I pulled up the video for it, so I figured we could probably go through a little bit if it'll come up now that I have no internet for some weird reason.
Well, you need Starlink.
There we go.
So the whole premise was that see that capsule at the top? That capsule is where they have the space crew is going to be in it, and
so the space crew is on the very top of that, right?
The very top of that, and then just below it, if that there was a picture of a black area, like a black box. That's still part of the craft. It has rockets that are built into there to push that capsule away from the rocket and get it safely away in case there was any kind of malfunction with the rest of the rocket.
And that's exactly what this whole demonstration was, right?
Exactly.
Was to show that if there was something wrong with the rocket, that the top portion where the space crew would be could, I guess, abort, right?
Or the favorite term is jettison away from it. Supposedly that the rockets that were on there on the jettison portion has more force than a fighter jet has today. Like when that crew's in there, and if they were in there, they would be gasping for air, but they'll be safe. But it's that initial, that G force.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So and it was interesting. I mean, this is an extreme test that you had to do, I guess, to prove, because going back in the 60s, they didn't have this means. But then wait a minute, right here, they told everybody on the day of the launch that they were just going to.
So right there, is that when it separates itself?
Well, it already separated.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, if you want to go,
and then they, yeah. No. Okay, I see what you're saying.
But they were saying, oh no, we're just going to let it tumble to the ground. Okay, now here's a downward view. Right, that thin there, that's what they call the trunk. That's an unpressurized section. That's crew equipment and stuff like that. They were going to use to as a trunk. They use it now. They use a trunk now to go to the space shuttle, space station, to take up large stuff. Well, you know what I mean. And here it is. I don't have the exact number how high there are, but look, you can see the curvature of the Earth.
Oh yeah. Right.
Okay, there goes the jettison, the trunk. And now that was the other biggest concern, was when it was coming down. This thing it's triangle shaped, but it has a lot of round corners. And while you're in that kind of atmosphere, the winds and just falling to the earth, they were concerned of it tumbling. And obviously, on a bigger screen, I watched this on a bigger screen, you could see the craft kept upright, like doing one of these things.
Right.
There are the little retros on there, little rockets on there, keeping this craft this way. So eventually, when the chutes popped, the drogue chutes popped, it didn't get wound up and didn't get balled up.
Yeah.
the significance to me here is that SpaceX proven, and it's been pretty much confirmed so far that they successfully performed the test. You
Yeah,
know,
right.
and so you know, in past going back in the 60s, they had a tower, a jettison rocket jettison tower set up that was bolted to the nose of the craft, and it would pull the spaceship away. So this is completely new thinking here, new way of having a way for an escape system for the crew in case they have particular
Any
issues,
issues?
any
Yeah.
issues. So thank you, George, for the $5.
Oh, George, thank
What's up?
you.
What pomade? Was that drink?
Pomade? It's no. Pomade is what you put in your hair. It's kind
Oh,
of
see,
like
I don't have that problem. See, I got flowing hair. You know what
No,
I mean? Okay.
I think Adrian was telling me my hair's messed up, but I'm like, no,
Uh,
that's the style. George, thank you so much for the super chat. That's a super chat, right?
yes, sir. That's another super chat.
How come there's no George? You don't have anything to say? There's no text here.
Where? Oh,
No,
George.
I'm looking at George's thing. There's no comment.
Oh,
But
he just threw it out there. He
yeah,
just said,
no, George.
"Bam, there we go."
Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support.
So anyway, what I find is also particularly interesting is if you ever have, I'm telling the folks, these fine folks too, if you ever have a chance to watch SpaceX and do one of their launches, watch it. Watch the live link from their YouTube channel. You hear the excitement in the people's voices.
Yeah,
You
they
hear
were
the cheering
like
right,
crazy. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Go watch a Boeing one on the Boeing spacecraft, which I can't remember its name. It's spacecraft has cleared the tower. We're reaching mass Q.
I have my
you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, I have my own issues with Boeing just because of everything that's. Do you ever read that article with Boeing with that 747 Max, that airplane that you know that had 2 major crashes and the laziness about it? That's a whole other story. That's a whole other story.
Yeah, well, yeah, so. Well, wait a minute. They had all these issues. It was a 737 Max.
737 Max.
Now wait a minute. It gets interesting. They had then a few, you know, almost 3 or 4 weeks later, they launched their craft as a test launch was supposed to go to the space station. A little mathematical error happened, and they proceeded to burn up all the fuel to get it to the space station.
Yeah, I don't know.
Needless to say, a few days later, I believe the CEO of Boeing was I'm out of here.
It was a complete disaster. I mean, all the people that died because for them, bottom line was the dollar, right? It was when Airbus came and they brought out a new aircraft, and that was supposed to be a lot more efficient. And then Boeing is like, well, what are we going to do? They're going to completely. So they cut corners and did all that. It was a mess.
Yeah. BG is in the room. Thank you very much for stopping in.
George is like, I let the money speak for me. George, well, thank you again. I appreciate it. BG, how's it going, man? How you doing?
BG saying they tried to sweep that plane under the rug.
Yeah, and I mean, they're still trying to do it. I mean, there's a lot of people who don't know anything about that plane.
The culture between these two organizations, and that's what scares me. That's what scares me with that is the culture of these two organizations. They're so rigid. They're so I don't know what it is, but when you deal with them, but when you see SpaceX and their people and they get involved, man, they're just pumped. We're going to do. It kind of reminds me of the old days of you know, we're going to get to the moon. We're going to get this rocket launch. We're going to go and explore these new worlds. And that kind of mentality is at SpaceX. And then that person, that was the interesting. There was the one person that was the gentleman. He was from SpaceX, and there was a lady there. She's from NASA, and she goes, and that crowd, man. She goes, not man, but she goes, and the crowd is really excited. And she was like, really like amazed, like they're clapping a lot. Yeah, they do that because they're really proud and they really want to pump their chest and say, God damn it, we did it. We did it. You know, Oh, you should hear them when they landed the first time. When they landed the first time back at Canaveral with their rockets, because mind you, one of the first stage of the rocket they reuse. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this rocket, matter of fact, launched 4 times that you just saw. They said
Oh,
they gave its final farewell. Well,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it was already 4. It was doing its 5th launch, so that proves this reusability of these craft.
Right, right, right.
So when they landed back, oh my goodness, they could not speak over the cheering.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah.
Real quick, got Adrian is
Yeah.
a comment there.
I think Adrian, sorry, and I know we're talking about 2 different topics here, Mike, but yeah, I think Adrian's still talking about the software for autopiloting was sent to outsource people to develop. So it was diving the nose when it should be going up. That was the 737 Max. Yeah.
They had that problem. Again, it's kind of like that ugliness of that software issue for that plane kind of reared its head to a degree over on the space project side. When they miscalculated using too much fuel to guide the craft to get to the space station.
Yeah, it's sad. I don't know. You know what? As a big corporation with a lot of money, there are responsibilities, especially when lives are at stake, right? Like, it's not something you cut corners with. It's not something that you shave 2 or 3 years so you can get it done so you can profit, like that's the thing. George here says too, Boeing had their employees as part of the government overseeing team. They could do no wrong. I just, there's always ways to hide that stuff. So I don't know.
Samuel, thank you for stopping.
Hey Sam, what's going on?
So yeah, I just, and like I said, I figured today to talk about that because I guess I'm a broken record, but just it's so important that we achieve for the common goal to get back out to space, to get back to the moon, because it's going to produce things that makes us better here on Earth.
No, I agree. There's so many things, so many applications that people don't really know how because of space travel or the technology that we figured out, how it applies to a lot of everyday life. So I hear you.
Yeah. So let's see. Oh, okay. You want to shifting gears?
Yeah. Let's shift gears. Let's go. Shift
gears. We'll talk about the thing that say we need to go to the moon, because if we don't go to the moon, then we can't get more. Wait a minute. Then our phones won't fold when we don't go to the moon. How's that? All right.
You convinced everyone. You convinced them all.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are we talking about now?
What we're talking about is now. This is more and this is going to be more just us guys going to be talking shop. You, Jerome, and me.
Yeah.
And
sure.
if anybody has any opinion,
in the chat. Yeah.
Jump at memory foam. There we go. He's probably right. Memory foam.
That's a space thing. Oh yeah.
And also Velcro.
There you go.
I heard so many stories about Velcro and how there was sometimes too much Velcro, because they always calculate what's flammable in these back in the 60s. So, and Velcro was one of those things, but you had to balance out because they use Velcro for prevent this stuff to float around, not bang you in the head in the middle of the night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No. The memory foam was more than just for bed. So,
yeah.
Anyway, I one of the topics I wanted to cover was let's talk about Android setups. Let's talk about launchers, icon packs.
Sure.
Through the time I've been talking to you for the last few weeks, I never heard you say, "Oh, I really set up my phone to do X." What do you do?
It's been a while. Before or since I've really used a lot of launcher stuff. So I used to be really big on Nova. That was my launcher of choice. But that was because it was clean. And there were a lot of things that I could do with that I couldn't do before Android started updating a lot of their stuff. Like finger swipe down for notifications, anywhere on the screen. Because remember back in the day, you would have to swipe from the very top down. I don't know if you remember. And now you could just swipe top down anywhere.
Did
or
you
whatever.
find launchers when you're talking about here? It seemed like there was a lot of stuff. The launchers came out, and then eventually Google integrated into their
Oh,
OS.
they integrated a lot of this stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of what got me away from launchers, because I think a lot of the stuff that I liked, you know, the baked Android already had baked it into its OS.
Mhm.
But it's been a while since I've really used one. And I have Nova Prime. I think that's what it was called. You know, the paid version. I bought that a long time ago because it was that good. But I haven't used it in a while. Mike, did you freeze on me?
No, you froze.
I froze.
You
no,
froze.
You were frozen.
No,
buddy.
I don't freeze. I got a good internet. Yeah. Anyway, real quick, I don't know if you saw George. Yes, Tang. I remember as a kid. I am showing my age. The Tang commercials. You know, they were talking about going to the moon. You know, that's what the astronauts use. I remember that, and it's stuff. Now, if I taste it, I probably will.
Yeah, I see a VG Tech Life here talking about Nova Launcher. Yeah, it was. I use that exclusively, especially when I started buying other phones that weren't a Nexus. You know, back before Pixel was a thing. When I tried buying other phones that weren't Nexuses, I would use Nova Launcher so I could make it more like a Nexus, so I could make it more vanilla. You know, give it that stock Android kind of deal. Adrian says here, launchers, root, icon packs. Me in 2009. Now I don't care. Set it and forget it. So that's I'm in a similar situation where it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm pretty happy with how stock Android is, but to be fair, I haven't given Nova a chance in a while. So maybe there's new things on it that I haven't seen. But I guess I'm in that realm where I'm just so used to what stock gives me that I'm good. You know, I'm good with what it has.
I put it in the show notes, and somebody could correct me on the Google percentage part, but Nova or Tesla Coil is the company, has 1 million downloads of Nova Prime Launcher. That's 1 million people has downloaded that and purchased that app at $4.99 USD.
1 million downloads.
1 million.
Has 1 million, or for Prime, for the paid version.
For the paid version. 1 million.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. And if Google took their 30%, that's where I need clarification.
Oh, because they get a cut of that.
Exactly. So what's going to threaten these launchers if like you get like OnePlus? Let's talk about OnePlus and their launcher. I got their launcher on my OnePlus 6. I don't need anything. I'm quite happy with that launcher.
I was the same way on my OnePlus.
You know what I mean?
6.
But think about the money they made. Think about the money that Tesla Coil made. I mean, if you just do the math, you do 30% of. I didn't do that, but I got me curious. Hold on, let's get the facts straight here.
You go look. I'm gonna go through some of these comments here. Brian said Nova can move that stupid search bar that causes burn-in and that covers wallpapers. Are we talking about the search bar did they not move it to the bottom? I'm not sure. Explain, because again, it's been a while since I've messed with it. Sergio says here, lawn chair launcher on my Galaxy S9, and so lawn chair is actually something I still haven't used. And actually, if somebody wants to put in the comments why lawn chair would be better than Nova, or are they similar? I think I talked about this last show, and I think, or maybe I was talking with Will, but they were saying lawn chair is more. They try to make it more pixel-like than anything else.
Yes, you definitely get a more of a pixel.
But isn't that what Nova's supposed to be? More of a pixel kind of deal, or no? I don't know.
No, Nova gives you that flexibility to do a pixel-like, and of course you use the KGW icon pack and a few other
and that has all the stock ones.
Yeah, supposedly has that, but launcher is definitely something about it. It's something about, I can't put words to it, but launcher is different in the way you set up the phone, and at the end result is, ooh, look at that. I couldn't do that with Nova, or something about it. You know what I mean? I have Nova and I have launcher, and I've been using lawn chair on my OnePlus 7T. I have that set up. I was using Action Launcher on
See, I
my
haven't
on
used
my
that either.
LG.
Yeah.
On my LG, that was different.
Yeah. Adrian says here launchers are breaking gestures now. So
Mm.
I haven't had a chance to mess with any of that. So wait, so for phones that don't have, I guess, Android 10 yet with launcher or with gesture stuff, can you add that with Nova? Can you add that with lawn chair? Or is that so baked into the OS that that's still not an option?
There's look at BG's comment right below Adrian's about.
The notification bar at the top. I think that's what he's taught. Yeah. I mean that's a big pet peeve for me too, because I'm so used to, everything at the bottom now or whatever.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Hmm.
I didn't know it was causing burn-in or
Well,
burn-in issues.
I think I wonder if he's referring to have it like your screen brightness all the way up.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian says, yeah, Android 10 gestures won't work with Nova.
It won't. Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Big hit at Culture Tech. He said I throw Nova on all my devices. So like even but not your Pixel, yeah, unless you're not talking about Pixel, or maybe you do throw Nova on everything. I guess
Mhm.
I'm just wondering what does Nova have? Okay, so say for example, you have a Pixel 4. For anyone who has a Pixel device, not even a Pixel 4, any Pixel, are you still throwing Nova on it? And if you are, what is the benefit there? I guess I just need to know because it's been a while. I should actually, it would make for a good video to open up Nova again and see what it has. I mean, other than changing the theme, right? So changing the way it looks, changing your icons. I can
I
understand
found,
using
I
Nova
found,
for
I
that.
found, you know what? I found also launchers in general, Nova or Launcher, does give you a sense of the animations moving quicker.
So quicker animations, kind of like how OnePlus is, because I think
Yes.
OnePlus kind of speeds up their animations a
Yeah.
bit,
Yeah.
so it
Well,
looks a little more
yes, it's
fluid.
been right. But before like OnePlus started doing that, I noticed that with launchers, I'm like, oh, wow, this is just a whole different experience. It seems a lot more faster and fluid.
Yeah, yeah.
And before, funny you mentioned that, I would try these launchers on the Moto phone.
Uh huh.
And then this way you have a
Yeah, that's
comparison between
true.
the Pixel and the Moto phone and see if you get any kind of like going, okay,
Any benefit using
any
it?
benefit from
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Huh.
he says, Culture Tech says you can add gestures
Gestures.
with Nova.
Yeah, but then Brian says here Android 10 gestures won't work with Nova, so I don't know.
Well, there could be I could be calling it wrong port in or an SDK
Oh,
for it
okay.
too.
Yeah. Yeah. So Big Head here is saying I use Nova on my Pixel because you can change icons, which is fair. That's a fair enough point. Like I know a lot of people want to theme their phones differently. I've actually wanted to kind of mess with that just to like give my phone a different look than just giving myself a black background. But I'm just wondering if there's any other benefit now, today, for throwing Nova on, say, a Pixel, or even a OnePlus at this point, other than changing the theme, other than skinning it differently.
See, but now wait a minute. Let me preface this. If I gave you today an S10,
Mm-hmm.
would you go right to Nova?
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
You know what? I haven't used One UI in a while, so maybe if I did, then I'd give that a shot and see
An
how well
LG
it would
phone,
work.
you probably would do this. You would.
Oh, I would do the same with an LG phone for
Right.
sure.
Right.
Yeah. I would need I would probably give myself a little time using it. I don't know. There's a big part of me that gets very annoyed at seeing icons that aren't the stock icons from Google. Like
Oh,
you
okay.
know
So
how
yeah, right. Right.
and actually I had a conversation with my friend not too long ago because he still has an old OnePlus. I think he has the 5 and he wants to upgrade. And so he was talking to me about maybe getting the new Galaxy, right? And because he's like, I'm like, yeah, the next Galaxy is going to be great. It's going to have great hardware. The camera is going to be great. Like I don't know if it's going to be the best. It might be, but great build quality, great display. And then we were talking about the little things, right? We're talking about like, well, the icons might be a little different. The software experience is going to be different. And then we started talking about emoji. We started talking about emoji because, Samsung has their own emoji, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, some people don't care but for me, I kind of do. I don't
Mhm.
want Samsung's emoji. I know there's a way to change it. I think I haven't tried it, but even if you do, what about for all the new emoji that comes out? Like, do they? I guess because I think it's a manual made thing. So somebody is updating it, somebody's changing it or whatever. I don't know. How do you feel about that? You use different phones. Does it bother you when you, or do you not use emoji as much as I do? Because I use it a lot.
Emojis I use a lot.
You
Yeah,
do.
I use them, and I don't change them. Whatever comes on it, I wind up
So
using.
when you use your Samsung, when you use
Mhm.
your S9, because you have an S9, right?
Yeah, right.
When you use your S9 and you're sending emojis, you don't. It doesn't bother you. It's not like you're just like, yeah, whatever. It's
No,
the same
because
thing.
to me, and this is what happens is I can see it's a different style emoji when I
Yeah.
bring it up, but I'm
Mhm.
using Android messaging to send those emojis. So
Yeah, but
see,
wait. When you use Android messages, you're still getting the same emoji, aren't
they
you?
look they appear different when I send a message.
Wait, really?
Maybe they do.
I guess I'll have
Me,
to.
but I mean, maybe I'm calling it. I know what you're talking about. The way the emojis look on a Samsung, I'm like going, they're just the way they got a certain shading. You know, like this one here, you can see it's more
Yeah, yeah,
detailed, right?
yeah.
But when it's in there in the key, you know, I'm like going searching for my emoji and I see this one and I can see it's different. I can see it.
Yeah.
And when I hit that and goes into the messaging
It
in this case,
changes it.
it does. And when you get it, that's
I
what
don't
appears to
I don't
me.
have a Samsung to test that out. So like I'd
Oh, you
love
will in a
to.
few weeks. I know you will. So you'll have to test it out.
Yeah, I will for sure. It looks like I hope a bunch of my buddies are in here. Sujo, what's going on? Sam's here. And then Kit's part of the news org that I work with. So Kit's
Okay,
in
okay.
Kit's in Japan actually right now. So he's not gonna be back until
Gotcha,
February. But
gotcha. What
yeah,
was this
yeah,
now?
yeah.
Samuel say watching Jerome and Mike do their thing. Yeah, that's right. We're doing our thing.
Appreciate
And
you guys stopping in. Appreciate you guys
earlier on,
stopping
we're
in.
all spaced out. I couldn't help myself.
Who
Yeah,
are you, George? George, you'd be
you
very
know,
proud of
it's
you right
rubbing
now.
off. All the way from Tennessee, this stuff rubs off. You know what I mean? Imagine when he gets to Florida, it's really even going to be worse.
Okay, so Nova launcher, lawn
Mhm.
chair. Those sound like the two top launchers right now. Is
Yes,
there
yes.
anything better than that right now? Or are those two still the top? Like Nova's been the top for a while,
Let
but
me
then
tell
I
let me just say this. Yes, if you really want to mess around with those two and see how much it has changed. I know Nova seems like it's changed a lot, and when I have a moment, I'll figure a way to get the Discord over to you because there's a Discord group that it's actual Nova launcher themselves.
just all Nova.
All
All
Nova. It's Nova launcher themselves. Every time
and
they
so
announce.
they're talking about improvements and how to make it better
Oh
and all that
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
stuff.
Discord is crazy like that. So
Oh, that's a good thing about
George,
Discord.
George says, "I'm proud of you, Mike." George got a bad influence on
Yeah,
me. Okay.
George heard your pun and he's like,
Yeah.
"Yes, I was thinking the exact same thing."
So, so take a look at go open up the Google Play store and
Mhm.
look at all the different launchers of come out of late. You know, Launcher was one of those quiet ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Launcher
but the thing about lawn chairs, I hear it a lot. A lot of people have been talking about it. I
because
mean, so
they're putting up a big fight. They're putting up a big fight in respect of, you know, hey, it's all not about Nova.
mhm.
They brag on Twitter. I don't know if you follow them on Twitter
I do
offhand.
not
You want to follow
know.
them on Twitter. You want to follow Nova on Twitter, and then Lawn Chair loves to brag about that. You know, we do this. All the
So
uh,
lawn chair is directly competing now with
yeah,
Nova,
it seems
or at
like
least
and
they're
they
letting themselves be known.
do, and they're free. That's the big thing.
So they have all of their. I didn't know that they were free. Like
Mhm.
also all of everything that you can put on it. It's all the features or whatever.
Right. I know for a fact that you can get Lawn Chair, and I'm not sure if Lawn Chair 2 is available through the Play Store. I could
Lawn
be
chair two.
yeah,
So that's there.
there's a second version, or if
So
not, you could sideload it. I think that's how they're doing it. And then there's like a download app to be able to get the Google Home feed, like a like a
oh
Pixel would be.
yeah, when you swipe
Swipe
right,
from the yeah
left
to the
to the
right.
right.
Mhm, mhm,
Interesting.
mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'll have to give it a shot. I would love to kind of put a video together, like seeing my experience now, like because really,
Judging by the sounds of things, you haven't picked up that to try the
no, I haven't. Not in a while.
Adrian's lawn
Not
chair too. Judgment Day. I love it. I love it. I love the
the little
Arnold
Arnold
in
reference
there.
here. Yeah.
um, George says the rootless pixel
Oh,
launcher.
I think I've heard George talk about this one before too. Yeah.
I think there's I believe a Microsoft launcher. And people were like a lot of the Microsoft people that had
Wait,
Windows
Microsoft
phones.
launcher. So people who want that Windows experience?
Mhm.
Really? Yeah. Okay. I
Yeah.
mean, I can't fault them for that. People want to do different things. Like, yeah, why not?
I see Apex. I think I tried Apex. I don't remember much about it, but I did. I remember trying that. Action is different. Action has some interesting way. They don't have an app drawer. I think they have you slide from the left over, and everything's in alphabetical order. The apps. And
I like my apps in alphabetical order. I'm
but,
very
no, but it's like it's hard to. It's like not like Rolodex, but like everything. It's in it. You could just up and down. You can see A, B, C, D, E, like that way.
I gotcha. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Huh.
So
That's interesting.
why Adrian's watching too much Terminator.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with why. There's no such thing as watching too much Terminator. Actually, I still haven't watched the newest one yet. I'm behind. I'm behind.
So by the way, Adrian, I think he put in there a figure of 300K, what equals. I thought I came up with more than that.
But Adrian had a good point too. I think he said earlier there's always sales on the Pixel launcher or on Nova, because I think I got mine at a cheap price too. But at the end of the day, you're right. Like Google taking 30%.
Mm-hmm.
I mean it's like us as YouTubers. I mean, YouTube
that's what the word. That's what the word I heard. Thought I heard the word when the big brouhaha over what's that game? Fortnite was out because Fortnite didn't want.
Oh, so they were
they were fighting Google because I think Google probably wanted more of the pie. But no matter what, though, Tesla Coil is making a boatload of moolah and on top of Google, and that is ridiculous. Just for they to be able to, to get out of that, to get out of the lousy launcher that you just bought the LG phone on. You know what I mean?
No, you're right. You know? How can you stop that system though? That's their ecosystem. They want to make money from it. They want to make money from you developing an app.
Right. So, yeah. It's just a lot of money that they make. And I'm asking you, because I don't do it too often. I haven't yet. Have you ever showed somebody that has obviously a really hideous UI like LG phone and show them that, oh, you can do that? I
used to. I haven't done that in a while, but
and what's the reaction like? Isn't the reaction like mind blowing?
Yeah, no, it is. It is. I think, but that's been a while. It's been a while since I've done that. There are a lot of people now who, I don't know. I guess I could show people who use Samsungs but everyone keeps telling me the One UI is good. Like
it is. It's much improved.
But is the One UI not worth switching to, like, say Nova or this lawn chair?
I would switch just because I'm bored.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's me. That's just me. You know, change up somebody's UI that's not like one of us is it's like giving them a new phone and they got to figure out how to rework it.
That's very true. So wait, let me ask, because I know I know I'm still talking about launchers here, but for lawn chair, so for the very first lawn chair, so they're both free. So people who have the original lawn chair will just switch to lawn chair 2, right? Or no one's using lawn chair anymore. They're using lawn chair 2. Is that how?
To be perfectly honest, I knew that they were releasing lawn chair 2. Is it out?
I guess
it's out.
Here, install right here.
I didn't do it yet. I probably have lawn chair on the other phone, and we were waiting for the final version of that. I knew they had a beta out. I kept on seeing for the lawn chair.
Am I looking at the right thing? Is it made from DeleteScape? Is that it?
I don't know, but that's the right. No, that's it.
That is it.
That's it.
Okay, so then they don't even show regular lawn chair anymore.
Really? Okay, then
So this is it then, yeah.
I guess
I don't know
that.
why what is this
Oh,
app
okay,
that's called
now
lawn
you
chair?
did it. Now you did it. I'm gonna have to take my SIM card out of my 3A, go get my OnePlus that I've been missing terribly, and
Yeah, because you haven't switched, you've still been on
I've
your
been
Pixel
trying.
3.
I've been trying. And let me just say something right now, okay?
Mhm. What?
That I took a bunch of pictures with my
I
wife's
saw those
nephew.
pictures. Those pictures turned out really great.
Except there was one picture. There's this one lady with blonde hair, with blondish hair,
Is it
was
when
holding.
was it a low light picture where it came out
There was a
really
little light
grainy?
picture that, right, and did it not come out grainy when I
It,
pop
it
when
came
I
out it
raised?
came out it came out pretty grainy, but
Yeah, I raised up the I guess
the, ex,
let the exposure.
the exposure,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I'm like, even my wife's saying, "Oh, that's horrible. Why'd you let that out there?" You know.
Why'd you post that picture?
I
It's
didn't
so
like that
grainy.
picture at first, but I was overwhelmed by the blur. How it cuts
Yeah.
out it does that in the background is it's like,
See, the thing is, though, you should see how well it does on the 4 because it has that second telephoto lens. Because, and I had mentioned this in a previous video, but with portrait mode on the Pixel 4, it uses that second lens to assist it in shooting a better portrait shot. And like the blur is even better than, I mean, the 3 is good. It's good, especially with one lens, but
mm,
on the 4, it's great. Like
mm.
it's one of those things where if you use the portrait mode, like have it, I don't know.
It
I
pulled off
really
a
like
lot
it.
it pulled off a lot of good pictures. There were just a few of them were like going, wait a minute, this Pixel 3A? This is like a OnePlus phone kind of, trying to do here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was that picture of my wife holding a guinea pig.
That one came out really good. I
Whoa,
was
I
I
was
was
like,
really I
whoa,
was really impressed with that
yeah,
picture.
the secret sauce was on high that moment,
I know. I want to see if I can share it here. I know I can.
Oh, my poor wife is in and on. I want her to get all the glory right now.
Oh,
Let
to
me
see the
tell you,
picture.
the story behind this is my wife is a cat and dog person, and outside of that, I want no. Even a horse. She loves horses, but she's like going here, go, and she was like, oh, I can't get a call. Oh, and she gets all freaky, like the horse is going to rip an arm off of her. You know what I mean? It's like going, you love horses. What's your problem? So she's holding a guinea pig. I'm like going, oh my god, she's holding something other than cat and dog. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, so this is from the 3A, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, no, it came out great. It came out great. And then you had other pictures here too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's my wife's nephew and his daughter. And
Yeah.
then look at
So
now that's the one,
this is the
right?
one that I looked at and I'm like, yeah, this one's it's a little
Yeah,
grainy there, but I
and
mean, you're right. The blur, the bokeh or the
I intentionally was taking that shot, knowing that the light is coming through the behind. That's one of those picture windows. Now
yeah,
look at that. I mean, that's at night, and that's
this
not
is
in the
at
best
night.
lighting. There's it's night in the background and
Yeah.
really shitty lighting overhead.
Right.
You know,
No, but that I mean so again for a phone that's $400 and I think actually it's on sale right now. I think the
probably
3A
so, yeah.
I think you get the 3A right now for 340.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think 340 is what you can
I
get it
couldn't.
at.
I will admit, for $2.99, I picked this up for
Well, you got it for 299?
Black Friday, baby. Black Friday. I said,
Uh,
I don't eat a week. That's all. I
you
couldn't
don't
pass it up. You know what I mean?
No,
Yeah.
yeah, those pictures came out great. They
Yeah.
came out great.
Yeah. But now you're going to make me go back to my OnePlus and play around with it. Just
Well,
because.
and so that's the thing. I want to you've been using the 3A exclusively now, right? For how long?
Going on 2 weeks.
So how do you why haven't you talked about your why haven't you talked about your experience with the 3A and the OnePlus 6? Right? It's the OnePlus 6 that you haven't been going back to, right?
No, the seven. I'm sorry.
Oh,
The 7T.
you have the 7T
Hmm.
and you're still using the 3A.
I'm still using the 3A.
But do you prefer the 3A over the 7T?
I, I I'm really torn. See, let me
But
just
what is it that you're torn about? Is it the camera or is it more than just the camera?
the camera, the experience, the UI is a little bit better.
So even though it's very close, even though the 7T is very close to stock, you still prefer the real stock raw
Yeah,
Android 10 that
it's got me right at this moment. And then, like I said, I whipped out of my pocket and started snapping pictures. I'm like, oh, ooh, wow, look at those pictures, you know. And I said that in my review. I said it was one of the Achilles heel with the 7T. You
Mhm.
have to work at getting a good shot, and
You
and
do.
and you have to work at it to get that photo. Where the 3A, I didn't have to work as much.
Yeah, that's the
You know
thing.
what I
That's
mean?
the thing that I found with the OnePluses. I mean, to be fair, the last OnePlus I've had was the 6T, but even then, to get low light shots is what I'm talking about. Day
Mhm,
shots, no problem. Easy, easy. When
mhm.
I'm talking about night shots or low light, I gotta like prop myself up on a wall or just make sure I'm holding steady really well. Or, I'll
I
have my
took shots
tripod.
when we had that wolf moon a while back. I don't know
Wolf
if I could.
moon.
Mhm.
What is a
We
wolf moon,
we
Mike?
had a full moon, and it was going to be a full moon and a lunar eclipse. I think it was
And
supposed
that's
to be
called a
happening.
wolf moon.
I could be wrong with something else. Maybe there's
That's
another factor.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah. And I took some shots. I'm trying to see if I can find them. Maybe not. I know I did. I thought I did. I thought I'd taken.
Actually, I think I remember seeing you
Yeah,
something with the
that was
moon.
from the 3A, and it really, really caught some really neat
See, and if
photos
you had a wait, oh,
at
did,
night.
wait, did they add the astrophotography mode on the Pixel 3s on the older Pixels? Or no, is that just a Pixel 4 exclusive? I swear they would have put that on.
I have time lapse, panorama photos. Hold on. I thought I saw.
Oh, you keep looking. I'm gonna go
Okay,
see
I
some of
got
these.
night. I have night sight. That's what I have.
Yeah. Adrian said, send a tweet with a huge Android launcher list from Wikipedia number of installs. Do you send it to me, Adrian? Or do you send it to, yeah, I'm guessing you sent it to me. um, okay. Huh.
So, yeah, I'm trying to find it. Anyway, wow, the heck happened? Here's that. Where's the picture?
Thank you, Kit.
Oh, oh,
I'll see you. I'll see you soon when you come back from Japan, buddy.
I don't see. Can I see? Is there any more? No, this
What are
one.
you still looking for this moon?
Yeah, no, I found it. But what happened is, okay. Here's the thing that grabs my eye with this photo. When I take a picture on most cameras, most smartphone cameras, and trying to get a picture of the moon, you don't see the perfect circle of the moon. It isn't a perfect. Okay, this is the only time I managed to get this photo where it isn't completely just a blotch in the sky in the middle of the night. I don't know if this will do any justice, but I don't know if you can see it or not.
I
But
don't know.
that
Tough.
sun, that moon is
Uh-huh.
much better than I have ever taken. There we go. Here's another one. I mean, now I know.
I would have to like look at it.
Yeah, I know. I had that feeling it ain't doing jack.
You're fine. You're
But
fine.
but but to me, the photo was like, holy moly, this is the best picture I could take on all the phones I've had, where normally it's just blown out.
For
It's just
your $300 phone,
mhm.
right? For
I
your
felt I thought it was really the best damn picture I could take at night to try and capture something
yeah.
like that.
You know what? That's something I still have to test out. I still haven't tested out the astrophotography
Mm.
mode. I've had it.
Just get a tripod and just do it, and just to see what you
I
get.
know. No. I want to. I should do that
Mhm.
because here, especially here in California, there's a lot of it's not Chicago, right?
Right.
And here I'm in Long Beach, so there's a lot of, I guess, the city lights aren't as prominent. So
Well, that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing.
right.
Do we want to move on to the next one, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, no, we can keep going.
Okay, which is the
Oh yeah, I forgot about this.
yeah. Yeah, let's talk about briefly about jacks, ports, and buttons, removing them, and how the average consumer is going to react.
Yeah, so and we're not talking about people like us. I mean, we can talk about that too later, but
Mhm.
eventually, because I think the writing's on the wall, eventually these phones are not going to have any kind of ports, right? They got rid of the headphone jack. Um what else did they get rid of? That's the big one.
It made me take pause and put this on for tonight's show because I happened to catch it 2 or 3 times. MKBHD did a video on how the
I saw that video.
the AirPod and the AirPod clones and how the
No,
knockoffs.
I haven't seen that one.
Okay, he talked about how the knockoffs came to be. You know what I mean? Whereas it went from taking out the headphone jack, and all of a sudden you might have killed one sector of the business, which was corded headphones, and created a whole other new sector with wireless headphones and using their simple to use headphones.
Right.
And all of a sudden it then blossomed into wireless headphones and how wireless is the way to go, only because of one particular OE decided to take out the headphone jack, which sent shockwaves around the world.
Sure.
You know, even though we talked about it before, I think we talked about it before. I forget, was it Motorola was really the first one that did it?
Yeah,
I think it was.
My history on that's not the best.
I think we were talking about one night, but anyway, then it made me stop and think. Well, they're capitalizing on that. They're going to capitalize. They're talking about the jacks in Europe, the plug, this Type C.
Yeah,
they want that to be a standard. So then I'm like, going, well, they already threatened they're going to get rid of the charging port. Was it a charging port?
Yeah, I mean, so I know The Verge put a recent update about how the EU is saying they don't. It's not that they want them to change to USB-C. It's more like they just want everyone to have a standard charging kind of deal. I don't know. To me, I still feel like, I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I feel like, yes, we should all have a standard charging port, right? Like, I feel like that would eliminate waste, eliminate confusion. You know, you go to a store, again, the everyday person is not going to know which one they need. I mean, maybe they do now, I don't know, but right. My mom still asks me what she needs to charge this or whatever, or will this fit? Because a lot of times it doesn't. Right. But yeah, go on. So yeah, no headphone jack.
Yeah, and get it back to the headphone jack. Where what struck a nerve in my head, like Will was saying in Friday's show, he mentioned about, goes, leave that subject alone because it's not going to. It doesn't matter. It's pretty much dead. And what happened was that night I stayed up. I kind of was staying up late, and then she wanted to come to bed, and I was still in bed listening, watching the video.
Talking about your wife, right?
Yeah, my wife. And of course, I got the, I'm hard of hearing. I got the music, I got the video blaring. And I'm like going, I got to go get the wireless headphones, turn that on, make sure it's pairing up with the right device. Now, let me just get I got a $20 headset that I've had for umpteen million years and plug in my headphone jack into my S9 and then proceeded to watch. What am I drinking? Coffee, not booze yet. Coffee, Samuel. But it was like instantaneous. I plugged in my headphone.
Yeah, just like how it used to be.
Right. And now part of the problem is, not everybody's got 1, 2, 3, 4 phones and an iPad, and 2 or 3 computers, whatever the case may be. But I find that when I turn on my headphones, I'm like, okay, hold on. Let me go and turn off the Bluetooth off of this one and turn it on to this one, because you can't pair up. Sometimes some headphones.
You have your wireless paired up to multiple.
To my iPhone. It's really right now paired up to the iPhone. But I had my S9. I think I was watching that, or using that, and I'm like, no, it's got a headphone jack. Plug that in, and it's like if for that moment, like I want to plug in, and I wish I gotta be better prepared. I gotta get, if we ever come back to the subject again, when my son realized there was not a headphone jack in his phone.
That's right. You were talking about
he just lost, pardon my French, he lost his shit over it. He messaged me, going, how do I put in headphones on? He just blew his mind. Yeah. And it goes back to that, that's why I threw that comment in.
Yeah.
the common, what is the world going to do? I mean, I know they're going to adjust, but it's like that initial shock when they take out the charging port. You know what I mean? And then you got to go. I got to go do what? I got to go get a wireless. What wireless pad? What? And then they're going to wind up making the Samsung one, going with your Samsung phone, and
It'll be proprietary, or
right.
at least if you want the fastest, you're gonna have to. I mean, in a way, OnePlus is like that with their phones too, right? Like if I want to use their super fast charging, I have to use the OnePlus power brick.
Oh yeah,
I gotta use the cable. Yeah, but I hear you on the headphone thing. I really do. I still don't understand why we're getting rid of it for flagships and then we're keeping them for mid-rangers, right? Like
there you go. Mm-hmm.
I still don't understand that, other than aesthetics, right? Oh, we want it to look, just like one slab of, like, come on, like, really?
Yeah. So what are you going to do with the S Pen? What are you going to do with the? Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
You've got that. Yeah.
But it is weird because you see people talking about it and they're like, it's dead. Get over it. It's dead. Get over it. And I hear that a lot. And in a lot of ways, I am, again, so I'm corded, right? You're corded. I have to stay corded when I edit video because I cannot deal with any kind of lag. I can't use wireless when I'm editing video. But in other instances, I do like a wireless headphone, right? I like my AirPods because I use it when I go to the gym. That's something I don't have to worry about. I don't have to worry about tripping on my cable or whatever. But you and I talked about this. If I had a desk job, I mean, I have a desk job. I edit videos. But if I was at work and I had to sit at a desk for 8 hours a day and I, was able to use headphones or whatever, why wouldn't I use wired ones? That's not a big deal. Yeah, right. Like I don't know. It's a.
Well, you hit a nail on the head. Why does a $180 Moto phone or a $299 Pixel 3 got a headphone jack? Meanwhile,
because you know why? It's a status thing. I'll tell you right now, it's a status thing. Because when they see this cable here, these are poverty earphones. These are and you're not wireless, so you don't remember. Maybe you didn't see the meme when people had iPod or had AirPods in, and the meme was always like, I can't hear you. And it's just it's a big status thing, I think.
Check out some of the comments just popped.
Mm-hmm.
Is labeling people the flagship buyer can afford wireless headphones perception mid-rangers.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about is there is a status that I mean, it's the same thing as holding an iPhone. There's a big status thing there. Mm-hmm. We talked about this before with the green bubble and the blue bubble on iMessage.
Yeah, now the status is the camera array. Is it a square or is it straight up and down?
I could see that. I can see that too. I could see that too. Oh, let me just go through some of these comments. So Adrian said, sorry to say, but I feel if Apple did this, they would be the only OEM to implement it properly, especially since they've been in the forefront of haptic tech in phones and even laptops. I'm confused. What were we talking about now for this one? I'm not sure what Adrian was referring to here.
Referring to
if Apple did this, they would be the only OEM to implement it properly. I will say just.
Talking about probably the power port, the power jack.
Oh, I see. Yeah. And again, especially with haptics, Apple makes the best haptics ever. I cannot understand why another OEM has not figured out how to make haptics just as good as Apple.
You don't think that the Pixel has a good haptics?
Pixel has good haptics.
I will say that's a standout on the 3A to me.
It is nowhere. I still don't think it's anywhere as close as what it could be. Like you compare it to an iPhone, I think their haptics are better. Riley says here, the iPhone I just bought didn't come with a headphone jack adapter like my last iPhone did. I don't know if that was a mistake or on purpose. So for the iPhone, so I'm assuming
10. I think starting with the 10s,
they stopped including
it. Yes,
yeah, because they want you to spend $19? Yeah, on that little piece that cost them how much to make? 3 cents to make, however much.
And while you're ordering the one that you need, order 2 more because guarantee you're going to lose the one you lose.
Yeah, I've lost a good amount of mine. Adrian says here, my iPad 2018 is missing a 3.5 millimeter jack. is the biggest slap in the face. Big
Mhm.
ass iPad and it's missing. Yeah,
Mhm.
because this
Wait a
is
minute, wait a minute. It's funny you mentioned that. The 2018. I picked up a 2019 regular iPad and it has a headphone jack. Okay.
so.
Yeah, 2019.
Well,
This year's model.
wait. Is it because this one is the higher end version or
Well,
what?
yeah, again, how are we going to know it's a high? Okay, it's big. I guess it's a big iPad. I don't know the iPad Pro.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's iPad Pro that for at 12.9. Mine's just a standard iPad, and it
Yeah,
has a
yeah,
headphone jack. It's
right.
just
Let me see here.
and
Damn.
Adrian, man, he's flipping out, man.
No,
Just
no,
return it. Just
I
return it.
see.
Go
I
get
see
a
it here.
Samsung S6 tablet. Okay, they got a
No,
headphone jack.
it is a sore subject. It's a really sore subject because I mean, you're pretty much forcing people at this point. I mean, you are forcing people. Why there's no beating around the bush here. Buy our AirPods if you really want, to listen to something without, if you want to listen to it in privacy, or spend the $19. So here, that's the thing. You don't want to spend $150 or $200 on our AirPods, then go spend $20 and buy the little connector. Because
Yeah.
that and
Spend 40 because you need to.
no, and Adrian's right. It's kind of like a big fuck you. It's like, no, we don't care. Like, you spend the money. You're buying a premium product from us anyway, so spend the money. Spend the money.
Yeah,
Like,
and you know what? What I think about it, my son said the same thing. He was like he's saying this ain't right. This ain't right for people who don't know any better. They walk into the phone store, the phone guy's going to sell them the pro version.
Can you imagine that? And then they're gonna go home and they're gonna be like, where's that?
I got my headphones. And I can't plug into them. What gives with that? Think about it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because there are a lot of people who don't know. I mean, imagine people who are getting them as Christmas gifts, and then they get it and they're like, "Oh, there's no headphone jack." Oh, because why do you need a headphone jack? Just buy AirPods.
You got the good one. It's a pro.
A couple hundred bucks. Yeah. You just bought this.
Just think of one last comment about making things less, portless, less. Okay. Fingerprint sensor. Where we're going with fingerprint sensors, and take Apple out of the equation because we already know it's the face unlock. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we have fingerprint sensors under the screen. I mean, S9 fingerprint sensor. Okay. Okay, this is the older one, fingerprint sensor on the iPhone.
Right,
my 6 downstairs. Now you get my wife's Note 10. Was it under the glass? Your 6T
under the glass. Yeah.
Here we go. $299 3A, the best damn sensor.
And I've said this in my past video. I think the fingerprint reader on the Pixel 3a is better than the face unlock on the Pixel 4. I think it does a better job. I don't know.
But they took that out. Another thing to take out of the phone.
Okay, so wait. So if they're gonna go buttonless, because we haven't gotten into this yet, so they're gonna get rid of the volume rockers. Well, how I know there are companies that have done that.
I want to demonstrate.
So using solely for it?
Think about it.
Okay, but what if it's not?
We're walking into polls as we're down all their phones. We're doing this, Meanwhile, bitch slapping the person next to us,
Okay, wait. What if it's not Google then? How is Apple going to do that? If Apple goes buttonless, how are they going to do their volume up and down?
Who are we talking about here?
So you think they're going to implement it well? Is that what you're saying? Or you?
Oh yeah. Oh, come on, yeah. Meanwhile, people with the Soli sensors on the Pixel 4 is like they're doing this. Apple's going. Wait, I'll give it another year, boys. Okay, no problem. Take your time. Don't worry. Keep on doing that. And look like a fool. Okay, wait a minute. Wide angle you don't need. Telephoto you need. Okay, that's what they're doing. So
I know. Yeah, that's gonna be. I don't know. We'll see.
Let's put the landing gear down.
Okay. All right.
Let's put we want to do the number 5, the end of the night with the stupid with the
stupid. So yeah, just here, Mike in the notes. he's like, let's end the night with a stupid ass shit news story.
I
And
can't
so,
click on that goddamn thing. Hold on. I guess
so
I got
let's go with that. No. I'll open the article up here. I'll open the article because I'll share it and then they'll understand why this is.
to
So Mike put this story out here.
I can't find redirect. Come on, open up.
That Pornhub got sued because
Is getting sued.
You make it hard for the deaf to enjoy. Let me just go through this because it's a short story.
Mm-hmm.
Pornhub has shut one man out of enjoying his favorite naked vids to their full potential and violating federal law in the process. So he's filed a class action lawsuit. Yaroslav Suris is suing the popular porn site, claiming it's denied the deaf and hearing impaired access to its videos that others can easily enjoy. According to docs obtained by TMZ, Suris says a lack of closed captioning violates their rights under the Americans with Disabilities Act. In docs, Suris says the deaf and hearing impaired can't understand the audio portion of videos on the websites. Some of the titles Suris says he watched but was completely lost on dialogue. Quote, hot step aunt babysits disobedient nephew, witness to talk, and Daddy 4K Allison comes to talk about money to her boy's naughty father. What's more, Suris says he and those in similar situations would shell out dough for Pornhub's premium subscription, but calls it pointless without closed captioning. # priorities. He's suing to get Pornhub to be inclusive and add closed captioning, plus damages. We've reached out to Pornhub for comment. So far, no word back. It's sort of like buying Playboy for the articles. Okay. You know what though? I feel like he has some ground here because yes, for people who are not hearing impaired, I'm sure that audio is not. I don't know.
I would just watch just for the closed caption alone, just to see
maybe
what they're trying to describe.
There is a niche. There is a niche where some people like the story. Like there's a buildup. Am I not wrong here?
And this is not turning out good. Oh, it hurts. It hurts, Jerome. It hurts real bad.
I'm just saying there's probably a minority that I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine the person who's doing the closed captioning for
the only thing I can see is now the same people are going to sue because they can't get their buttons on the side of their phone because they can't hear it. And they can't get closed caption at the same time. I don't know. It just, oh my God. I saw this. I said, oh, this has got to be in there. This has got to be in there.
I still think there's a valid point. The only reason that we think this is crazy is because we can hear.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I know. We can leave
I'll
it.
Stay on top of the story and keep it and see if they what comes out because
you'll make sure we'll make sure what happens to
Yaroslav. I'll do like a first impressions, like a reaction video, just to watch the closed caption alone. I don't need to see the pictures, just the closed caption of them describing what's going on.
But no, I'm not. I'm sure he can see what's going on. No. He wants to know. He wants to understand. He wants to understand why his nephew's disobedient. He wants to understand why the witness is gonna talk. Okay, let's stop.
Yeah. Okay. The gears are down. We're approaching the 1,000 mark. Okay?
Sam, woman moaning, and Adrian heavy breathing.
Right.
Okay, we can call it a day.
We can call it a day because that was just yeah. There's going to be more out there. Trust me. I will find. What are we calling this again? Stupid as shit news. We will have. I will try and find another one.
Thank you for finding this. I appreciate you. I don't know how you found this story, especially I didn't know you frequent TMZ, but I'm kidding.
Now I what is that they call screen time? I got a screen time issue. Okay. All right. Look, this Samuel's comments squishies.
Yeah. Okay. Let's. That's where this is time to end the show, guys.
Okay. All right. I'm Mike Dixon. This is Simply Device. All red and flustered. Looking for a closed caption next time, and we'll have things breathing heavy.
Yeah, guys, I want to thank everybody for stopping by the show. Again, appreciate you guys taking the time. Come check us out. Everybody who's donated as well, thank you so much. Appreciate that support. You guys can find me on Patreon at patreon.com/Jerome Ortega. I need to do a lot more work on there, but I'm working on that. If you guys haven't already, check out Mike at Simply Your Device. You can find him on YouTube. He's on Twitter at Your Device. It's right there, caption there. Otherwise, we will catch you guys.
That's where I get my news from. Twitter. Okay.
Where he gets all his TMZ stuff. So. Okay, guys. You guys have a good one. We'll see you guys next week. Take care now.
See.
Okay, I think we're